Hey, everyone. Alan Newell coming to you live tonight with none other than our founder, Mr. Eddie Stone. How are you tonight, Eddie?
Doing fantastic, Alan. Thank you for the chance to be with you and everybody that's joining us.
I tell you what, so right now the ticker is climbing fast as the number of people that are joining, and we've got this all over social media. So I think we're going to have a lot of good people on here. We've got several people who are commenting over here in the comment section that just saying hello. And if you want to say hello and where you're coming from in the chat section, we'd love to see that. And we're so excited about what we're bringing you tonight. But I want to say this: if you have questions, type them in the comments, and we'll go back through those later, time permitting, and be able to answer some of your questions. Some may not be, but if you've got a question, love to hear from you. We've got people coming in. There's New York, and there's Sven from Cornwall, UK, and Denise is from Skinny Atlas, and so all you got to do is pump it up there, and we got them going. So if you have a question, put it in the comments, and we will come back to that. We've got some banners that we'll be putting up. We got a lot of good stuff that's going to be happening. I know that everybody is just like me, been just anticipating this launch for so long. And I was talking to a lady today, and Eddie and I were just discussing her a few minutes ago, and she said, sourcing with this product, sourcing with Fulvic is so, and she's from another country, is so critical, and there's just so much junk out there. And she goes, so, and it's funny because she had forgotten who we were with and who. I said, well, you know how Eddie Stone is, and she goes, oh, that's it. I know now. Eddie's been looking for the perfect dirt. That's what she said. So we're really excited about the launch tonight. But something before we get started, Eddie, I'm going to do a little plug here if I can, if you'll allow me to, because coming up in September, the weekend of September the 7th. Right now it's May the 25th, so June, July, August, September. We got like 4 months until we get together again live. And so right now we've got 71 plus people who are tuning in. Many of them are existing VBOs and customers, and I'm sure that number is going to grow. And that's not going to include the number of people who have said, hey, I've got church tonight, I've got Bible study, I've got soccer, I've got baseball, who are going to tune into the recorded version of this. But I can't help but say and talk about the upcoming event in Orlando, and have you just talk about what we're going to be doing there.
Yeah, and thank you for giving me a chance to do that. Having been in this industry for 30 plus years, I've learned and taken ownership of the fact that it's an event-driven business. Events are really that connection point where people can either upgrade sort of their education or their confidence in what they're doing, or pick up those key tips. Maybe it's that last number on the dial to dial it in so that they become more effective. They're 95% effective, or they're 95% there, and they just need that one number. And as I look back on my own career, events really shaped me. It really shaped everything. There's no way Touchstone is here, I'm here without that. And I don't want people to interpret that as hyperbole in terms of just trying to sell you tickets, because each ticket we sell is a loss. It's a financial loss. This is about what we know the investment of attendance does for somebody's career, or even for customers with really sort of challenging issues that really want to know about things. There's nothing that replaces the fact that you've got Dr. Greenberg on stage discussing in details, and he's really, not only will he address our entire product line, but we've got a brand new release that will be at that event that he'll be talking about. Dr. Alex Lee, who's an absolute expert. He's a gastroenterologist, so his knowledge about the gut and the bowel health, all these things, he'll be discussing not only Fulvic, but zeolite. And so we've got a lot of product education, which we know is important for people. We want to make sure we provide that. We've got business education, and we've got some business tools, a couple of which I think are going to sort of blow people away with what they do and enable people. And then there's the fun. I saw Denise on here from Skinny Atlas. She and Debbie Stella, we might make them the masters of the fun ceremony. so to speak. So, it's Orlando. Bring your family and come and make that investment for your future, because we can't condense it in a video or digital format that in the same way replicates it. Sure, we can pass along some information, but that's not the same. So anyway, I could spend a long time talking about this, but I hope you sincerely hear what we're saying.
Well, this is going to be absolutely the largest event that we've ever put on, the most people that we've ever had in attendance. And it's in sunny Florida. It's in Orlando. So many people have already said to me, we're making a vacation out of this. We're going to come 3 or 4 days in advance. We're staying 3 or 4 days later. And you're right. I mean, just rubbing elbows with people. And I see so many people on here that were with us in Mexico. And you made a comment that I want people to understand, that these discounted rates that we're providing them to come to the event, number one, you're going to get a swag bag that's going to be worth much more than your ticket price, number one. Number two, the company, this is the price of the tickets and admission and the hotels. The company has to subsidize that. So it's a very expensive event for the company to put on. And Orlando, Denise says she booked her airline today and she got registered. She's from New York. I'm going to be driving down. I haven't decided if I'm bringing the motorhome or not, but just the ability to get together, shake hands. If you haven't met Eddie and his wife Maria and his daughter in person, and his, I guess, is your brother coming too this time?
Absolutely. He won't miss things like that.
That in itself, being able to meet face to face with the leaders of the company, the people you've been talking to, the people we've been seeing on this call, and ask questions and just understand that they are just people like you and I, and they've got tips and ability. And you're right. I mean, here I was blessed to be able to go on the road with Dr. Greenberg. Has it been a month? It's not been that long. And he's a blast. He's so knowledgeable and he's so personable. And I mean, just the way he delivers, and I've heard Alex Lee before. And so the information you're going to get out of it is amazing. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. And Eddie, you know this, the people, whoever has the most people from their team of 10 is going to catapult them going to finish the year 2022 with the most growth. And then that's going to catapult them into 2023 because the compound effect, is so amazing. So write that down, go to the website and go to Collaborate, and the Orlando event is on there. All the details. You get a discounted rate right now for, I think it's $129 for your ticket, which is just a crazy low price. And so if you haven't booked that, make sure you book that now. And we're excited about that. Now, Eddie, I know we've kept them going now for how long? About 8 minutes, and they're probably just chomping at the bit and going, Alan, shut up and let's talk about this product. But fulvic acid and fulvic minerals is just one of the topics, the hot topics right now. I've been sending out messages all day long, and it's so exciting, and it's just been such a product that many people have tried, many people have wanted to do. There's been a lot of how do you say, imposters out there putting products on the market that are clearly not what the product should be. And we've seen that in the marketplace. And we've been asked so many times that, hey, when are you guys going to come out with this product? Because see, Touchstone Essentials, for those of you who are on the call and don't know, many guests are on the call tonight. We're over 100 people right now, including YouTube, well over 100 people, including YouTube. Many people out there, you might be learning about Touchstone right now. And see, we are the benchmark for quality and purity and cleanliness. And everybody, the lady I talked to earlier who is looking at our company right now, she said, I know Eddie Stone. I know if he does it, it's done right. And so that's why we've been getting the phone calls. When are you going to put this product out there? We want it. We need it. And so, Eddie, I'd like for you to kind of talk about what took us so long, because I know that the research and everything is there, and then just lead into the product and tell them what we're doing.
Well, and let me say this, Alan, I appreciate everybody's patience, right? We've been talking about this for many months now, and there's a couple of things that are just sort of realities. And one is, it is true that in this post-pandemic world, if we can say that, I think we're to the point where we can say that, we still have a lot of supply chain challenges that are just out there from a business standpoint, and you can have them affect you directly, but you can have them affect you indirectly. And of course, lots of our stuff ships by truck, right? Not just the large pallets that are moving to warehouses, but what's going to consumers. And so it's been a challenge. And what we didn't want to do is find ourselves in a situation where we'd launch it and then all of a sudden you're out of stock for 3-6 months, right? We know people count on this for their health. They develop habits and they count on it as a business, right? They can't afford to have that disruption in what they're doing. So some of that is at play, but also we've looked at the Fulvic marketplace now for close to 3 years, and there's just a lot of products out there I just wouldn't use. I'd probably knock it out of my family's hands because there's just no real research in terms of the sourcing and the quality. Unfortunately, humic acid, which you often see in fulvic products, is notoriously high in heavy metal counts. Let me tell you, we spend a lot of time trying to help people support how their body gets rid of heavy metals, right? So we're not going to get involved in that. And then you've also got to make sure, and we had travel restrictions that really got in the way of this, to make sure that where you're sourcing your products, you can put your eyeballs on it. You want to make sure you can see where things are coming from. And so there's validation, and you're not just relying on somebody's word. I mean, I want to trust people, but trust and verify is sort of where we come from and some of what we do. And so when you're dealing with organic matter, and then the other side of this, when you're talking about people's gut health, Fulvic's going to do a lot of things for people. We're going to see a lot of wonderful stories come about. But what it does in terms of like its core is it supports a person's gut health. It helps to nourish the gut. And so if you think about the delicate microbiome, that is the sort of the body's pharmacy, where strength from, but even things like mood, people don't really connect the dots that serotonin is principally produced in your gut. And so if you've got an unhealthy gut, which can come either from just habits or lifestyle, whatever it happens to be, and you find yourself depressed or unhappy, there's a connection there. We can connect those dots medically and through research. And so when we talk about gut health, which is what we see happen with fulvic products, we want to make sure we do it right, because when you consider the state of people's guts, I mean, leaky gut, right? We didn't even think about leaky gut 25 years ago. And now all of a sudden in this modern world, it's just common everywhere you go. And so there's just so many challenges. So when we think about it, we want to make sure we had the right product sourced in the right location. And then we needed to make sure that our combination of ingredients was good. So to kind of let that cat out of the bag, for those that sort of don't know some of these details, we've let some things slip here in the last couple of days. It's Fulvic Minerals Plus is the name of the product. Tomorrow at approximately 8 a.m. Eastern time, if you're an existing customer or VBO, you're going to get an email about a pre-launch of the product. It will not be on the web store. It will not be available to non-customers, non-VBOs for this first period till about the middle of June. So we're going to do this pre-launch, begins tomorrow. It is scheduled to either end the first week of June or when supplies run out. So we've got a special batch we put together just for this pre-launch. If we run through it, there'll be a slight delay then until the middle of June when it's released and put on the storefront. So we want to honor, basically those individuals that are existing customers and VBOs that support us. And so that's why we decided to put this together. And the product, just to give you a few more details, it retails for $65, which is incredibly competitive. And so we're happy to be able to do that and be just that competitive in the marketplace. On subscription, or if you're a VBO, it's $49. And so that's also an incredibly competitive price. And then for this initial pre-launch, it will be discounted $10 in honor of our 10-year anniversary that we have celebrated this year. So it'll be $39, and the CV will not be discounted. The CV is $35, and that will remain true even with the discount. So normally $49 on subscription with 35 CV. It's going to be $39 with 35 CV. And so we're happy to be able to do that, and hopefully our customers see our interest in sort of honoring what they do. What makes up the product, right? Because this is really where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. It is an organic fulvic. And let me just answer this question for a lot of people that don't understand what fulvic is. Fulvic acid is derived or comes from organic plant material as it distills and breaks down. And there's a lot of things there that are important, but one of them is the fact that it's a pre-digested source of nutrients and minerals. And so from an absorption quality standpoint, it's much greater than it is, say, minerals coming from rocks or hardened materials in that regard. Plants, when they ingest minerals, chelate them. And so it's easier for your body to take that up. And so it has a very strong impact on how your body uptakes minerals. We've added to the fulvic trace minerals that are also plant sourced. They actually come from seaweed. Seaweed is revered in terms of its health benefits and what it does in terms of how those minerals that come from seaweed are absorbed in the body. So it's a very powerful combination. I mentioned it's going to have an impact on your gut biome. Let me tell you, you just can't imagine what that's like when you get that biome sort of working in the right direction. You're less likely to have problems with bad flora. There's just also kind of positive things that occur. And then the final piece of this puzzle is we've added our zeolite product. And so we've added that because when we talk about the gut, we want to make sure that we're always constantly thinking about this concept of detoxification. And we know zeolites only focus on the heavy metals and other environmental pollutants. They do not have an affinity for nutrients. So it's just a wonderful marriage. And for some of you that maybe already jumped to this, you can use this and you would not necessarily need to use the Pure Body Regular unless that's just something you feel like you needed an added benefit for. So actually the combination for me is going to be the Fulvic Minerals Plus with Pure Body Extra Strength. And so those are my two go-tos for my cellular health and my gut health and detoxification. So we're really excited. It is it's all natural, coming from organic material, non-GMO, everything that I hope everyone has come to expect from us from a quality standpoint. We'll have more information on the shop page when all that's finally released on some of our sourcing, but very pristine. And we're very confident about the health benefits that people will enjoy as they get to use the product. Mute. You're on mute, Alan.
Yeah, and what powerful information that is. And, you know, when it plays into our triangle of benefits, detox, build, and balance. Detox, build, and balance. So we talked about the gut health, we talked about the toxins, we talked about the minerals, the trace minerals. And so there's a lot of information out there about, so when we add this product to our build, can you touch a little bit about how the Fulvic product helps the body in absorbing and getting more minerals and nutrients out of our super green juice, our products that we offer, the Super Greens Plus D?
Sure. So there's sort of really two mechanisms of action, right, that are taking place there. Number one, when you improve gut health, right, your ability to digest and then absorb nutrients is just simply greater, period, right? If you're the type of person with an acidic gut and you begin to alkalize it, then your gut's going to function better in terms of how those delicate micronutrients absorb in the soft tissues into the bloodstream and are utilized by the body at the cellular level. The other side of this is those trace minerals that you find in fulvic, that you find in plants that are plentiful in this combination, act as little cofactors in how your body escorts and moves nutrients around. And so they are aids in terms of detoxification and how food is ingested into the body. It wasn't too long ago, a few decades ago, that we found fulvic acid natively in our food. You generally think of fulvic acids found in root vegetables, and there are some in the cruciferous vegetable family where you were able to find fulvic acid. But when you just look at the world today, commercial farming, which is principally where people get their their food from, and just the depletion of those natural minerals in the soil, almost artificial soil, because what plants used to grow in was in decayed plant material, right? Rich, dark, peat moss, and all kinds of topsoils. And so in the absence of that in the general food supply, you got to find it somewhere. And that's why fulvic is important as a supplement for somebody that's really trying to optimize their health and prepare their body to just sort of live in this modern world from an immune system standpoint. So it's a brilliant combination. Something like super green juice combined with this, you're just going to see even a higher uptake than before with what you get from that product. So to us, it's a wonderful complement to the Build and Balance program.
Absolutely. And so if you'll touch base on the packaging, and several people have asked liquid or powder, and we obviously know why we chose a liquid and the reasons. If you could touch base on the packaging and the reasoning behind our product.
Yeah, so plain and simple, in liquid form, it's just going to absorb better. There's just no question about that. And so as we looked at, it would have been simple enough for us to throw this into a powdered form, but that would be shortchanging the consumer as far as we're concerned. And so we wanted to make sure it's a high quality product, right? And so I've seen some companies out there talking about people using tablespoons a day, half a cup a day. That's just irresponsible, particularly if you look at the C of A's on the amount of heavy metals and pollutants found in those products that are sort of, no one's really paying attention to them. So we believe that we need to pay attention to it and utilize the liquid form for absorption. I mean, that's just as simple as it could possibly be. And then there's also, frankly, the portability. It's going to come in a 2-ounce size bottle with same size that you find with Pure Body Extra Strength. It will have a dropper because it is too viscous to be in a spray nozzle. The flavor is, as far as I'm concerned, and the people we've had sample the product, is neutral. It's not that it doesn't have a flavor. It's just not something that sort of wakes up your taste buds and does anything like that. And the color of it is almost like a weak black coffee. Mm-hmm. And you just drop it into water and enjoy it. You could, drop it into a few ounces and just slug it down, or just drop it into your coffee, or really, whatever you wanted to do. It's not going to disturb the taste of whatever you're having it with. And it's designed to be used once a day. So it's really simple. Somebody wants to put it on their kitchen counter, just use it in the morning. They're good to go, because the way it cycles in the digestive system and how your body utilizes it once a day is going to give you the benefits that you're looking for.
Yeah. And talking about price point, for example, there is a company that's just now launching a powdered product, a powdered fulvic product, and they're selling 30 packs, a 30-day supply, and their subscription price is $99 for 30 packets. Yeah. And they're in the process of launching that now. And so I was Ashley Willoughby said, can you use all three at once?
Yes, absolutely, Ashley, because, and I'm assuming she's talking about Pure Body Extra, Pure Body Regular, and Fulvic. Yeah. And listen, there are plenty of people that their circumstances and their health history is such, they're just going to want to have that extra gut detox that you associate with Pure Body Regular. If you use the Fulvic Minerals Plus, you get about half the dose of Pure Body Regular you get on a daily basis. And so it's about half what you would find in the bottle on a 30-day basis. For someone without a particular set of gut issues, they probably can just switch to the Fulvic Mineral Plus instead of both. But we are prepared and know that's going to be the case. Then, of course, I believe the marriage between Pure Body Extra and Fulvic Mineral Plus is just ideal from a health standpoint.
I agree. Anita Reed asked, if you're on prescription meds, do you need to wait an hour between taking these meds and taking this fulvic product?
Well, I don't know that we can point to enough research relative to fulvic to give a specific answer to that. And what I tell people is, in the same way I discussed zeolites do not have contraindications. that are published, not here or really anywhere. And the same really is true of Fulvic. There's just nothing published out there in that regard. I tell people, if you're taking medication that very specifically identifies that you should not have mineral supplements, and to be candid, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are some extreme circumstances where perhaps a medication says don't do that, just like there's some medications say don't have greens, while you're on this or when you take it. But there's nothing that I know of in my field of vision to suggest that you would need to separate the two. But if you're concerned, find out from your physician or your pharmacy if not using minerals at the same time you're using the prescription is recommended. Otherwise, it would appear to be fine based upon existing literature.
Yeah, great. And so the next question is, and I think we answered this already, but saying as far as ordering tomorrow goes, you mentioned an email's coming out, right?
That's right, 8 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern time.
8 a.m. Eastern time, you're going to get an email, and in that email is going to be a link. Okay.
That's right. It doesn't go to the store page. And just so everybody's know, to be, straightforward here, the product isn't going to ship till June 7th. That's going to be very clear in all of the information. It's going to ship June 7th, and then it'll be on the store sometime mid-June. It will be available in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, basically all those markets serviced out of our U.S.-based warehouse. It is on the way to the UK, and we will announce its availability in the UK just as soon as it's landed. I can't promise that that's going to be by the 7th, just knowing how things have been. And so with apologies right up front to our UK and European customers and VBOs, you're going to just need to be a little more patient, and that's probably not easy. But there's not a lot we can do in this regard. It's just the shipping has just been that sort of challenging, compounded by not just the post-pandemic environment, but the issues associated with the war in Ukraine. And so we're navigating that as rapidly as possible.
Gotcha. So just to clarify, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, there's going to be an email come from corporate. And so a lot of times people, when I hear this a lot of times, they have gone into their back office and they've opted out of receiving corporate emails. And so if you don't on a regular basis receive emails from corporate, and they come from Eddie Stone at Touchstone, and you're not getting those on a regular basis, because I think we send out 2 to 3 a week or 1 to 2 a week.
But generally speaking, it's 2, and they're introductions to the blog. And those emails are separate, Alan, than the ones that were called system-based, like if somebody places an order.
Right. Okay. So if you're not receiving any emails from Touchstone, from the corporate, then you'll want to go into your back office and under your email communicator, you'll want where it says My Account, you'll want to say, yes, I want to receive email from corporate, so that you get that link. If you don't get that done by tomorrow morning, now the link is the same for everybody, is that right?
The link is the same for everybody, and of course will then read their computer when it goes in, so it should automatically default to their account. If I can, Alan, I see a couple things here I'd like to address in the comment bar.
Yep.
One of them is, will there be a C of A available? That's an astute customer, because you want to see a C of A when you're buying a Fulvic mineral product. And of course there will be, just like everything we do, forward facing. And so you will see with complete transparency, and all the numbers there have followed the regulatory guidelines associated with that. It is a page that you place an order separate, and that is until you find it on the shop page. And the simple reason is, if we have somebody blend orders for our other products at the same time, then those products would wind up being held. And so we don't want that to happen, right? That would create some frustration. And so we just want to be straightforward with folks. This is coming, will ship on its own on June the 7th. And so, and that's why it's there. And it is not designed for you to set up this initial purchase on your subscription. That will come mid-month on the full public release of the product on the shop page.
Perfect. Yeah. So that answers that question. And let's see, there was another one. Oh, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not.
It is sourced from a bog in a pristine location. We're still sort of sorting out how much of those details we're going to put on the shop page. You'll be able to get some identification, and it is organic certified at location. Now, the whole product is not certified organic because the zeolite does not have that category available. But both the trace mineral and the fulvic are certified organic ingredients. And so it says we half of our battle and half of the time it took us was to find just that right location and the right ownership of that location that we could believe in and trust.
Perfect. I think we already answered this, didn't we?
Yep. We're going to see it in Canada because that is shipping out of the U.S. warehouse immediately. So
perfect. All right, let's see. And you covered that. So they're asking about packs. We've got our bundle packs. Yep, Sven.
Yep, absolutely. And so you'll see on the purchase, I think it's 1, 3, and 5, and then other combinations will be available when the shop page is fully loaded into the system mid-June.
Perfect. That's awesome. As we always do. That's to be expected. Yep. If anybody else has any questions, I'm scrolling back up through the questions. So somebody said we have to keep this a secret until the 1st of June.
You do not have to keep it a secret until 1st of June. And I'm going to give you, you know how in life there are workarounds?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've got someone that's not currently a customer or a VBO that you want to share this with, all they need to do is go to the shop and purchase something and become one. And then the link would work for them as well.
I had a conversation with a lady in Birmingham, Alabama today with Rhonda's group. And she said the same, and she said, well, and I said, hey, go in because her husband is not a VBO and so I said, you just need to sign him, he needs to be a VBO. And so he needs to sign up. He's not a customer. And so just sign him up as a VBO and then you can order the product. So yeah.
There's always a workaround, right?
It's always a workaround. Yeah. And let's see.
Someone just asked if the product was certified organic. It is not because the zeolite is not. It's that qualification process doesn't work for the zeolite, even though it's as natural environment as it could possibly come from. And so it's the trace mineral, the seaweed is organic as well as the fulvic, but that means that we can't do that in terms of what USD organics regulations look like.
Gotcha. The third party question we answered.
Yes, all third party labs, just like we always do. No ifs, ands, or buts on that one.
Yeah. 100% fulvic, no humic. You want to touch on that?
Yep. No humic at all. We very specific, and the process is it's a what I would refer to as a gentle titration process, and so no chemicals are utilized in the sourcing product. No solvents, no chemicals. It's a more simple process. It takes longer, but the end product we believe is better, and we just simply would not use solvents. And it is free. To Victor's question, is free of humic.
Free of humic, yeah. And then packaging, will it come with language about possible side effects? I don't think there's any contraindications. Is there any that you're aware of?
We will have information on our blog. We tell people all the time, pay attention to your health. If you have special issues or concerns, then always talk with a physician or a medical professional before you take on anything new. If you're trying to formulate the question to ask, this is a mineral-based product. And so if you have something in your life that means you shouldn't utilize minerals for whatever reason, then that would mean this isn't something for you. And so that'd be sort of the way to think about it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Dose is how many drops?
Man, I don't have how many drops memorized, but it is 100 milligrams of the trace minerals. It is 50 milligrams of the fulvic, and it is 15 milligrams of the zeolite.
Perfect. And somebody asked again, is it available in Canada? And the answer to that question is yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Perfect. Well, listen, Eddie, it's 9:05, so we've been here for 35 minutes. exciting stuff. I mean, this is going to be, we launched a lot of products when we came on board. We launched the CBD a few years back. That was, we've been through Super Green Juice launch, organic protein launch. We've been through, so many different launches, and CBD was just top of the mind, news everywhere. But it's amazing how our community, our members, our BBOs, our customers have just embraced this product and have so many questions. I just feel like this is going to be our biggest launch ever. Wouldn't you think?
I've got no doubt about that, Alan. And I tell you, I've got a reason I believe this is true. Gut health is such a paramount issue, just considering the impact on immune and mood and just lifestyle, right? If you look at all the over-the-counter drugs that are sold, there are two principal things that are sold right at the top of the category, and that is antacids and products for constipation. So people struggle with gut health. Now, I could argue it's a lot about what they eat, but let's just kind of set that aside and say, here's where they are. We want to meet them where they are, and we want to help them get back on track. So I think it's one of those items that's important for anybody, whether they're trying to be an elite athlete or live the healthiest life possible, or just trying to grind through the day and not feel bad. This is that type of product that's going to make an impact for them.
Yeah. Awesome. And with that being, with the big launch, with the big, letting everybody know that, let's make sure that everybody realizes that, this is going to be huge. So with this initial launch and people being able to order starting tomorrow, before we launch it to the public on the 1st, I'd get your orders in place. I would get that order. Now, here's another question that I didn't see come up, but I want to ask because I've been asked this question all day long. I had it in my notes. So tomorrow, is there a limit to the number of bottles I can order?
No, at this time there is not, but we are going to monitor it. And so if we saw someone going in and looking for 300 to 500, some kind of number like that, we would halt that order and just say, hey, this initial load is, we want to spread it out as much as possible. And so, that would be available mid-June, but we want to make sure as many people as possible have access.
So, this product's going to be amazing. And so I want to make sure that everybody realizes and remembers that we have a Touchstone testimonial group page, and so much stuff. I know that Maria monitors that, and I see her coming in there and going, hey, can we use this on the corporate page? And so this is going to be a product that we definitely want to ensure that we're posting your testimonials and encouraging people to post on that page. And within probably a week or two, once people have had a chance to use it, then I'll go in and run a contest. Hey, put your testimony on here, and you can win a free bottle. And I won't be able to ship that out obviously until after the pre-launch. But make sure that we utilize that page and just share this, and share it on your personal page as well, not just in the group. But so many people are sharing their testimonies on their personal page, and that the before and after. And before and after how I felt, before and after how I feel, and weight loss and things like that. I know on this last tour, every time I walked into a room, everybody was saying to me, oh my gosh, how much weight have you lost and how did you do it? And I'm like, transformation pack, shake for breakfast, shake for lunch. And I don't know what the numbers are, what the sales did, but so many people were like, how do I order it? What is it? How do I use it? And so testimonies mean a lot. So great stuff. Let's see, we got some.
Somebody asked about CV, full CV on the pre-launch. We would never do that to you. So full CV.
Now what does that mean for somebody? That means that we're giving, Eddie is graciously giving us $10 off, but when your people order it, you're getting paid full commission. That's just, thank you so much for that. And let's see, is it good for young ones?
Yeah, you would need to adjust the dosage on age and body weight, but I absolutely believe, look, bottom line is, in today's modern fruit and vegetables that are available, they just don't have the same amount of fulvic in them they used to. And so,
Great comment there, Sven. Top tip, create a photo album for before and after photos on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And that's positive for lots of different things, but I saw one for a gentleman the other day who was talking about our products, and he was showing the back of his head where his hair was growing back. And I was like, hey, what are you doing different than me? I got a little spot back there myself. And so anyway.
And shout out to Sven for being up after 2 a.m. in the UK.
Earlier he posted, I'm wide awake. So I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Hey, listen, Eddie, thank you so much. So excited about this. Want to remind everybody, look for that email first thing in the morning. The link's going to be there. You're going to need to click the link, the special link. It's not going to be on the website. You're going to get asked this question. People are going to say, hey, how do I order this? It's going to be a special link in the email. It's not going to be on the page because I've already had people asking me that. So that's the only way to order for tomorrow. And so make sure you get that news out there to everybody, answer those questions for everybody, and we'll look forward to it. Eddie, thanks so much for being on tonight. And Sharon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, Alan, so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.